You know, with the cost of homes continuing to rise and the price of new construction being out of the price range of most people, pending your financial situation, there's a possibility that you might end up purchasing a home that might need some repairs or some improvements. So I want to share with you some tips that will help you not feel so overwhelmed and increase your confidence the next time you see one of these opportunities arise. Welcome to Let's Get Frank About Real Estate. I'm Frank McManus with Lamakia Realty. And in today's episode, I want to share with you some tips on how to approach buying a home that might need some repairs or some improvements. So what that means is, let's go with tip number one, which is actually twofold. First part of this is you absolutely want to partner with a realtor who's going to keep your best interests in mind and at the forefront, while also being able to walk you through this process and help you with what to look for, okay? The second part of that is considering a couple things, right? Take into consideration what your skill level is for improvements or repairs, right? Take into consideration what your professional and personal schedules look like, right? If you're somebody who has kids or has a busy work schedule, it may not be the right avenue to pursue. What are your plans to finance the projects that need to be done, okay? How much work needs to be done? How many repairs, how many improvements needs to be done? And consider your level, your willingness, I should say, to the level of inconvenience you're willing to handle throughout the repair or the improvement process, okay? So that's tip one. Tip two, make sure you hire the right professionals and obtain the proper permits when and if needed. This is absolutely vital, okay? Tip number three, get the proper financing, okay? You're not only gonna need funds to purchase the home, but you're also gonna need funds for obviously the down payment, the closing cost, the monthly mortgage, etc. But you're also gonna need funds to make the improvements or repairs that are needed, right? So make sure you partner with a lender who is very knowledgeable in renovation loans. Okay, these are loans that you can actually bundle the purchase of the home or the cost of the home and the cost of the funds together in one loan, all right? So some examples of these would be an FHA 203K loan, a VA renovation loan, what's called a home style loan, or a choice renovation loans. These are some examples that you could go after and talk to your lender about. All right, lastly, tip number four are the pros and cons. What are the pros and the cons of buying a home that needs some repairs or needs some improvements? Okay, so let's start with obviously the pros. So first off is you have creative liberty to make the home custom to your liking, right? And the improvements that you make is number two. The improvements that you make could end up improving the value of the overall home, okay? And then lastly, these homes typically cost less to obtain. So it might be advantageous to look at this as a possible avenue. Next, the cons. What are the cons of going down this road, right? One would be that the repairs and the renovations can be expensive and can be very time consuming, okay? Secondly, you're gonna need to be flexible and fluid with your budgets and the timelines that you set, because of any unexpected things that pop up during the repair or renovation process. And then lastly, you might be living in a construction zone, or if you don't want to do that, you might need some temporary housing, okay? So overall, purchasing a home that needs some repairs or needs some renovations versus purchasing a turnkey ready home can be well worth the efforts involved. Just make sure that you're ready and you're well educated going into it. As always, I hope these tips help. And for more videos like these, you can always catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So until next time.